Hello everyone and welcome. We are very excited to give you this video today. I imagine excitement is rampant through the air as we have just finished the first day of Nintendo's E3 conference and information dump. And we have a group of people. We spent the day watching it all as a group, and now we're just going to give you our basic reactions and thoughts about the whole day. Obviously, as Jelly and I have mentioned before, we have a lot more that we want to get to you, but we'll start with this.
We have some visitors today as well.
Yeah, let's start out just by saying who we all are. I'm Raid.
I'm Jelly. I'm still here.
Yep.
This is Blurb. Hi.
Yep, we've got Blurb.
And I'm Joke.
And Joke from our previous video where we talked about the Smash competitors.
Snake is calling you.
Snake just called in to say he's going to be in the game.
It's
Okay, so how this is going to work, we're going to do in the same format we did last time. This is a random rant for here on Dame, and we are going to I have a couple questions I'll ask. We'll go from person to person, and if people want to chime in, they can make it known, and we will get this going. So we're going to start with Joke, but the question for everyone is, what were your biggest takeaways from today? And remember, we can talk about the whole day, anything that happened today. What was to you the biggest moments, I guess?
So I mostly watched it, to be honest, for Smash Brothers because I'm so ready for that game. And the tournament was just amazing to showcase that with some of the top players around. That was fun to watch. I also actually really liked the treehouse. The whole idea of just showing us how gameplay works. Just
the live
sometimes
stream.
that felt like maybe it went a little too long, but overall it was a great idea. It was great to see, and it was interesting to see that they brought back Splatoon the second time because it was so popular. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's neat that, it allows a viewer, E3 is full of information no matter which console you might prefer, or if you prefer PC. But it allows you to be able to just kind of tune in at any time and just see them talking about the game. And know that there's this dedicated stream that they have that it's like, oh, I just finished watching this. Let's go see what Nintendo's talking about. And I agree. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, so those are the big two off the top of my head that were stuck out to me the most. I think we could go into more details later. So.
Okay. And I do feel like the Smash Brothers tournament will be brought up quite a bit today.
Yes.
Big time.
So let's keep going. Let's jump to Blurb. What about you?
Okay, so right now on the screen is Satoru Iwata, and I'm just staring into his eyes right now.
Directly?
He's looking directly at me, and huge takeaway from E3. I love basking in E3 news as a computer animator, as somebody that's going to be in media, gaming, film. This is a big week for me, and personally Nintendo is something I've grown up with. So for a digital event to start off with animation, which is a really clever way to do the digital event, Reggie poking fun at the haters, which I constantly am. I'm also a big critic, but I love Nintendo. And you can hear yes, I would have been one of those people that Reggie burns a hole through my stomach. You can hear my voice is going away because of this E3, and I can't remember other E3s where my voice was lost, because when Satoru Iwata and Reggie Fils-Aimé are in a dark room and light is shining down from the top of them and they start just duking it out. These are corporate personnel from CEOs of companies, and what other company has done that? And what I think is a big takeaway from this E3 is that Nintendo is they're taking advantage of their strengths. What are their strengths? They have very amiable and personal CEOs and these people that run these events are becoming fan favorites. Memes are being generated. These guys are trying to get direct contact with the fans, and to have such fan service, having Robot Chicken do some really funny animation, and having a fighting sequence to introduce our favorite game of all time just blew my mind. And I love the playfulness, and they're really finding, like, this is a really great way to showcase Nintendo's strengths, not in a live press conference, but in a dedicated, this is a really clever way to show off your games and just poke fun. Like, we got the Luigi stare a few times today. And just showing that Nintendo is more aware of us as fans, and E3 is becoming less of a developers conference for the media, but more for the fans and to get people excited to play those games. So the Smash tournament exceeded all my expectations, and I tried my very hardest to be there with a video contest, but anyway, that was a lot of fun. I loved it.
Cool. Agreed. I agree with a lot of those points, and I'll probably bring some of them in mind. But why don't we jump to Travis or Jelly? Whoops. For the second time.
Who are you?
We'll edit that later.
All right. Well, like Landon, I was very impressed with just the way Nintendo did it. Like, this was just straight out, hey fans, here we are. Like, from the very beginning. It shows, I mean, they had, that awesome animation, the Robot Chicken. They weren't taking themselves too seriously, which sometimes I feel like Nintendo does. Or they tried to be funny and it doesn't work, like Reggie laughing at his 3DS. I'll never forget that scary thing when he's laughing at his 3DS and Miyamoto. And anyways, but like he said, just that connection, I feel like they created that connection between their fans and them that wasn't there, or they made it to a deeper level, because I feel like Nintendo, they have the craziest fan base in the world, and I will fight anyone to say that. I think Nintendo fans are the craziest people in the world, being one. And I think, they have all sorts of Nintendo fans, and this was a big reach out to them, saying, hey, look at all this new stuff we're doing. We're making fun of you because you make fun of me while I'm on stage and say stupid things. We can make fun of you too. And check out our awesome games. I was really impressed with that. The Smash Brothers tournament and Splatoon really stuck out to me as something I was like, wow. I'm really impressed that Nintendo's trying these new things. I feel like Nintendo, a lot of people underestimate them and then they come out with something genius or just a great idea. And you're like, whoa, where did that come from? But I feel like this E3, they really made that connection with their fans, probably gained some new fans with some of their great things, and
Absolutely.
Yeah, showed some really cool ideas. I'm excited to be a Wii U owner.
Yeah. And I think I'll take that further and to say that, I think the coolest thing about this E3, and I'm happy to say straight out that I was very pleased with this year's E3 conference and E3 proceedings in general here for Nintendo, because the things that were cool appealed to us in a variety of ways.
Mm-hmm.
One is, as was mentioned by Blurb, with to see these execs, and as Jellyfish mentioned too, to see these executives of Reggie and Iwata really. I agree. The embracing of and focusing on what they feel like they are good at. We've seen it recently in a lot of Nintendo Directs. They're just really focused on being funny and just kind of charming. And then you have some of the games that they announce. I love hearing Aonuma really looking into to really re-look at Zelda and make sure he makes a game that isn't getting stagnant, which can be argued. But I feel like the Zelda reveal was very breathtaking. And then, agreed, Splatoon. That's another way it was really hype and really cool in that, it was a take. We had seen tons of shooters throughout E3, in E3's past, and, this was one of the first ones where I was like, that's pretty dang cool. Big time. That's a cool way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
To tackle it that way, and I think that's something Nintendo does really well when they want to. And I would say that this E3 kind of says to me that Nintendo's I really liked how Blurb said it, is really figuring out what they want to communicate
Mm-hmm.
and how they want to do it, and they're understanding themselves while they're understanding who they're working with better. And I think that transition from the DS Wii to 3DS Wii U, where they really kind of have to not rely on the blue ocean, so to speak, and to really try and push out what is Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
That this E3 conference to me was kind of like, hey, I feel like they've got it, and they are now teaching me again what Nintendo is. And
With Reggie's heart, oh man, his little spiel almost brought tears to your
Totally.
eyes, right?
dude, and let's just say this right
Smash
now.
community.
I was going to say, Reggie had lots of good moments today. I mean, from the direct itself, from the stinking the robot chicken to the hungry box call out at the end of the night.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was on fire
Yeah.
today.
And can I just say the most frustrating thing to me, or just like sad? I was really sad that Iwata wasn't able to make it.
Oh, totally.
Like you
yeah.
know, he
We
would have
hope
been
he-
right there.
we hope he's
all
okay.
the-
It's true.
We hope he's okay, because I have
I hope
heard
he's
that
feeling better.
in a past E3 he had like a really bad cold or a cough or something in his voice.
That's
He
just
came
a
anyway.
rumor, but we all really
Oh.
know it was, Reggie beating him.
Well, actually, Iwata ended up beating him. So I
That's
thought I'd
true.
throw that
Thanks
out there.
to
Reggie sucks at Smash Bros.
He
just
probably
so you
spent a
know.
lot of time building
true.
that fighter to help, because he clearly needed help to beat Reggie.
But he's beat
maybe
Reggie
it was
before.
recoil damage.
Recoil.
In the previous E3, Iwata has said they played.
It's true.
And he said he kicked his you know what. That's what.
Which
I
someone
quote
else's
him.
you know what is going to get kicked soon.
Yes, his name
Oh,
There,
is
my
man, there's a
Box.
lot of you know what getting kicked in the Nintendo
That is
this
true.
area. I know mine was. Cool. So let's jump into this. What would you like to see them continue to do in next year's E3 or the upcoming Direct? What would you like to see that maybe they did this time? Like, oh, I really hope that they continue to do this.
Okay.
Let's jump to joke.
I hope they continue to do the whole treehouse streaming of the games. I thought that was a great idea.
Yep.
Let's see. I think the idea of having invitational tournaments to showcase a game is a great idea. Obviously, it only works for certain games, but I think it's a good idea.
Do you think
'cause
they could do a yearly invitational and it would have that same sort of oomph to it?
I think it could be if they like, let's say next year Smash has been out for, it'll be 6 months at that point, right?
Right.
But if you invite the top players at the time, people would watch it, and you
A
still bring some
lot
good,
of people
like,
watch it.
like people watch it a lot when it's not official Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
If you make it official Nintendo,
Ooh.
lots of people
Put it
watch
on their stream.
Totally.
Yeah.
No
Nintendo
question.
Twitch.
And it could be maybe they advertise for some like DLC for it or something. I don't know, but it just even alone just them showing it, I think a lot of people
Totally.
would watch it. So and you can do it for new games depending on what they want. For
Interesting. I mean, what if they did next year a Splatoon tournament?
I think a lot of people would watch that.
Yeah. Splatoon would be. I mean, just showcasing a new game like that.
Totally.
That's a really cool way.
Cool.
I was thinking like
Especially
Nintendo does,
depending on
like-
when Splatoon comes out. Like
2015.
Sometime.
true. when Nintendo throws out like tournaments on Mario Kart, they're like, okay, blue shells only or like green shells only. Like they're creative and the rule set. So, did you have anything else, Joe, that you wanted to say? Okay, because I wanted to
Okay, we're
segue off.
jumping to blurb.
I wanted to segue off of what he said because the Invitational, holy crap, having Sakurai there
Totally.
and having Reggie there, and he even told us like on stage, he was like, "This has exceeded our expectations of what it was going to be, the hype level." And we saw with the cameras, we saw everybody that attended. These were not media. This wasn't all media press. There were little kids. There was a mom I saw. There were teenagers. There were old kids. Everybody dressed up. People had cards. They were shouting. They were so hyped. And like, those are Nintendo's fans, all ages. And holy cow, a free 3,000 person in the theater. That tournament and the closeness that I'm sure the executives, Sakurai and Reggie, and even Jeff, I am sure, there was like
Jeff
there was
Keighley.
like some like electric like connection with like, look at these people and look at the love and that's something that I think Nintendo might miss during a digital event that they release. They miss the live reaction. I know Reggie was talking earlier to IGN about like, well, we do see the reaction, we see it on Twitter, but that live hyped reaction shows the passion of Nintendo gamers and just like the immense importance of Smash itself. And I'm sure Sakurai was just super happy to be there just to see that and feel
Well, and
that.
it's interesting, if you don't mind me jumping in, I
Yeah.
think it's interesting because Onuma, when he went to New York Comic Con, I believe it was, he mentioned feeling that same sort of thing. Like, I believe even, I might be wrong, but I believe he went so far as to say is things like, I don't think I've ever seen, he just went to New York Comic Con with Nintendo. I believe they're talking a lot about A Link Between Worlds.
Zelda, yeah, Link Between
And, I mean, he talked about, he's just like, I don't think I've seen fans like this before.
yeah.
I've never been like this in this sort of a real scenario or setting with fans like this before. And he's like, and that's prompted a lot of them talking about, that's why we're really looking at conventions and really
Yeah.
looking at what it
Yeah.
is these people like
Mhm.
and understanding that these, it's as if, that they didn't exist kind of a thing, but
Right.
so yeah, I do think that's an interesting point.
In creative medium like games and film, when you see the impact that you're like, that what you make and
Influence.
the
How
influence,
it reaches.
you are like super charged up and just totally hyped to just keep going
There's
and
nobody-
make it as best as you can
There's
be, because like when Sakurai
Yeah,
sits
you
in
could
his
s-
office all day, he can easily feel like, do they even appreciate? Because all
My
I get
hands
are
hurt.
like, all I get are Miiverse comments about adding Goku to Smash Brothers.
Well, and you could see it in his face when he came out.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch, I remember that's what I was watching, is like, just as he kind of was looking out there, just like kind of really taking it in.
and having competitive smashers standing next to, beside Reggie Sakurai and Jeff Keighley. Jeff, as much as we differ on opinions of him, Jeff, he is a face of G4 TV, of Spike TV. He is a big host that obviously he's good at his job because he's been in it for so long.
He
And
must
so
be doing something right.
and to have him there and to have all of Twitch focused on that, wow, like that's something I want to continue to see, because
Yeah.
my voice is gone. Tomorrow we're gonna be like experiencing Smash Fest at Best Buy. Something that I wish they'd do more often is get more Best Buys on this thing, so we
that's
didn't
another
have
cool
to
thing.
drive so far. But
All right, I have a lot of the same thoughts, but I feel like this year I finally understood what they tried to do last year, I feel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is what they were aiming for when they're like, you know what, we're not gonna do the whole E3 in front of the press thing. Where they're like, look, this isn't for the press, this is for you guys, fans.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
And I love that. And
Yeah.
I mean, bringing demos to Best Buys and just saying, hey, you guys can try these games. You don't have to go look at these videos. You can go nerd yourselves to death at Best Buy, which we're going to do
or just give
tomorrow.
us a downloadable demo.
That would be-
Gosh, I would play that.
So many Wii U's. 666%.
Mhm.
666.
But once again, I think
I think that's a really good way of putting it.
I think it just gets back to that connection, because I mean, as a fan too, we love seeing what they're up to. They want to have that reaction from us. Landon was talking about how, as a creator, you want to see the things you create affect people in a positive way. I think fans really want to support that.
Right.
And another thing I liked about the Digital Direct was a lot of it was just straight developers talking about the game.
Right.
Like, look, we made this game. These are the ideas we had. Some of them, I mean, they just sometimes banter. They're like, yeah, you suck at this game. I do this,
Yoshi
you do
on his
that.
shoulder,
You
like-
suck at this game. He's like, yeah, I do.
He's like,
Yoshi R and Splatoon. It was just cool to see, their ideas and, all these different games and the people that made them.
Yep. Yep.
And
Absolutely.
tugging on your arm
Yeah.
in the house.
I
Look
mean,
at this yard.
and like, I really like how they do this digital direct, but at the same time, they're trying to reach to us physically as well, like the invitational tournament, the
Yes.
Best Buy,
Yes.
those kind of things. So,
Well, and I think, and I don't know if you have much else to say, but
yeah, I think that's about it.
I think that's actually the best way to say it. And I mean, it's hard to say do this again, because when it comes down to it, I mean,
Yeah.
we really feel like, especially from a fan perspective, like maybe if like I'm a hardcore, Sony or Microsoft or PC, whatever it be, that that I could easily see this conference not necessarily appealing to you that much. However, as us with Nintendo history, like it really does feel like Nintendo has really tried to reach out, like, and that's why I've liked all of our opinions so far. Is it's just and what's been said is because I feel like they just really nailed that on the head.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
feel,
from the Reggie Fils-Aimé video earlier on. I mean, what a crazy way to announce your E3 presentation. I mean,
It's so good.
and the
but-
fans loved it.
but it worked. It was
Yeah.
just so perfect. I mean, it was just pretty much like, I mean, they made fun of, executives being like, oh man, we couldn't do a Best Buy tournament. That would be
That
way
would be
too much.
impossible.
And he just like lasered in the face.
Laserized.
I mean, it's just like, whoever is now the person in charge of their Nintendo Directs and this image that they're presenting is just doing a standout job.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And because when we talk about Nintendo, I mean, obviously there's always that discussion of, Nintendo is struggling in sales and such and such. And
Mhm.
like you mentioned, Jelly, that last year they did struggle in a lot of ways. And to see.
I loved it, but
Oh, I've been more than satisfied.
Yeah.
But
this year was even better.
but just to see them kind of reach this sort of self-awareness
exactly
that has just been so good, and to know that they feel confident in
Mhm.
their lineup, and they feel confident in everything Mario Kart's done, in the
Mhm.
momentum that they have, the momentum that the 3DS had last year, the momentum that they know Smash can do,
Mhm.
and they're just kind of letting that organically happen
yeah.
and not getting in the way.
yeah.
And I think that's actually why this has all worked out so well.
Yeah.
Is because they're like, we know you guys love this, and we just want you to. We feel like you will love what we've got,
Mhm.
and so here it is.
And I feel like we surprised them too.
yeah,
I think
Yeah.
they did
The
not
Smash
expect.
tournament was big.
I don't think they expected, like Reggie said, like this surpassed
Mhm.
all of our expectations. Sakurai thought the game demo would break. I'm sure they were concerned about like the competitive smashers and I don't know, just lots of elements. But when it all came together and it worked out so well, and the matches were so exciting to watch, we're all competitive smashers here, but we
except for-
enjoyed.
Oh, never mind.
Oh,
I was gonna name a name.
oh,
He's not here. He's in the back room.
right.
I won't name a name. No.
No name. No anime now.
No name, but no.
But giving us a chance to show them our passion. Like usually we have to show our
We
support
love
with our
Anno Nano.
wallets. Yes, we do.
Yes.
We usually have to show our support with just here, take my money.
And Mother 3 fan letters.
There you go.
And Fireball's
But this time
not my problem.
we get to show them like a very tangible, physical like support.
We're here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the best culmination of all of it actually was that Reggie Hungry Box exchange. Because of what you're saying, of what the fans were reached out to, the fans,
fans
reached
are
back,
reaching back.
and they got reached back. I mean, it was so
Backside.
Backside. Oh no.
it was the bro hug. I mean, it was just, Hungry Box is like, dude, I want to play you. And Reggie's like, dude, I suck, but I'm going to kick your ass. And it was just like, it just worked. It just meshed. Like, the fans loved it. Reggie loved it. I mean, and I think that's what describes. I mean, we have more stuff to reveal, and it's
Yeah.
so interesting to me that at the end of the day, it's not necessarily the content we got, but it's that
How it was.
it was just the way everything happened.
Uh-huh.
I mean, all of us in this room got the entire day off of work. We made sure we had no obligations, and we just sat down as friends and just enjoyed it. And like that is when we talk idyllically about those Nintendo experiences. That's what it came down to today.
Yeah.
So here you are listening to probably a very gushing review of Nintendo's E3. So let's,
Totally deserving of it.
which yes, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say, for me, what I hope they do in the future directs is whatever they did in this one that made it work.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to keep being creative,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, and I feel like I already talked about, connecting with the fans, but when the fans feel like we're connected to, we go crazy and
Totally.
we
Oh,
spread
yeah.
it for them. Like that is Nintendo's thing. They get the fans and they get people excited about things. And when you see something exciting that Nintendo's made, you just want to share it
Totally.
with people.
I've
And
shared
business, yeah.
many Facebook posts already.
yep.
Yeah.
I've received many a text from people that I haven't talked to in a while, like,
Mhm.
dude, are you checking Nintendo Stream?
It's
And I'm
very
like,
true.
Yeah.
you really need to ask. I didn't say that, but
From a business perspective, from a hype perspective, from a fan perspective.
which is exactly what the Wii U and their sales
Everyone.
need.
like,
That's what's going to make the miracle happen, so to speak.
like I remember when the Wii was revealed, that was hype.
Totally. I mean, imagine the first time you played Mario 64.
Hot.
I mean, come on. That's,
Whoa, that's
that-
amazing.
Or
Yeah.
the first time you got on Epona in Ocarina of Time, you learned you could jump over that fence, and the horse was yours, and you're like, oh my god.
For real?
And that's what it boils down to. So now let's have a bit of a different question. What would you like them? What would you say was you think they should change? What do you think they should do differently? If anything, I mean, hopefully we can come up with something. Otherwise, this will be a little too gushing. But
Where is the name that we need? When we need
he
him,
must
right?
not be nano named.
You must be
Where's
negative
the salt?
when we need.
Pass the salt.
Just kidding. I know we happen
Can
to
that
know
be this segment?
that he very much enjoyed
This segment,
what he
He
saw
loved
today.
it.
And
Segment
that's
is
saying
called
something. Although,
Pass the Salt.
Yeah.
when it comes down to it, Jellyfishing and I are the easiest to hype.
Yeah. I can just see Iwata's face, and I'm like screaming inside.
We have tier lists of hype. Now, someone like Blurb is someone who, when he hypes, I mean, it might take a bit, but once he goes nuts, like there, I saw Blurb like screaming at the screen.
He wouldn't get
Like-
out of the way of the TV.
like,
I'm
He
so
was just-
Like, yeah, I was sitting with
I
Sosie.
blocked the TV from.
Yeah, I was sitting with Sosie on the couch, and like he's off of his chair, just like yelling at the TV, almost crying. I'm just like, today's gonna be a good day. But I asked this on the basis of what would we change. I actually had, when I was thinking of the question to ask, I had something in my mind, but now I don't have it anymore.
Mhm.
I think it's just going to be big for them to keep pushing that creativity and carry, hopefully with other Nintendo Directs, really carry this momentum and not lose this focus. Because I don't know, I don't think they can rely on a Smash Fest to always drum up this sort of, there's definitely hype to a Smash Fest, but this was a special kind of hype that they worked really hard to create. And I don't know if that will always buzz that in the same way. I mean, I feel like every E3, and I mean, obviously it's super high expectations, but we've got to be on our toes every time. I mean, heck, although admittedly they could do some really cool stuff when they really blow us out of information with Zelda U and whatnot.
Like they did.
Having things like the video contest involved other people that couldn't even attend. They couldn't even attend the Smash Fest at a Best Buy because lots of states only have like 1 or 2 in the entire state. In the United
Yeah,
States.
they're doing it out.
So the Instagram video contest that involved many fans, and lots of people had their eyes on like people's submissions, and people put a lot of thought, and that got me hyped for
Totally.
E3 even more, and it helped me like break up my time before E3 started, and having like a contest, things like that have fans to show their passion, and then have Nintendo like pick someone, winners,
Cool.
picking
I'm sure
people.
in future days we'll get a video of that kid who did win and like his experience and whatnot. I'm sure they'll
How he got
Well, he's playing tomorrow.
trash
do
kick.
tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll be playing tomorrow against probably either.
CT0.
Yep, CT0. Just get some, good lessons. Good.
But serious, let's start this out.
Zero
Does
Okay.
anyone have something here? I'll just leave it open. Does anyone have something they think that should be changed?
What do you think about NFC?
Who?
What do you think about NFC?
figurines.
Amiibo.
Amiibo.
What do you think about that?
I feel like I called it. I'm not gonna.
You
Like,
called it. Yeah, you did.
in one of our other videos about how. I mean, it wasn't exactly, but the general idea. I feel
Yeah,
like is the
I remember
same.
we were talking about it, and we got to the thing, and I was like, "Wait, can you read and write data?"
Yeah.
And that question was answered,
Wow,
and
you
it was basically just it.
Well, I figured that like and it was a lot of it's in the DLC discussion, but
Mhm.
I figured like you will probably just be able to bring it, slap it down, and anyone's a Wii U, and like you'll have your data on it
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and stuff.
So
Because
are
they-
you
they
a fan of it? Are you excited
I'm
to
gonna buy it.
all?
I'm gonna buy all of them.
I'm not excited. I'm just
Right.
kind of waiting for them to show me more.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they had more than one for each character. Like, just kind of goofy ones, like in different poses. Just get the one that you like the most. No, you don't need to buy. You'd only, like, it would be the
Just
same
buy
for
the
each
one.
character.
Yeah.
You just buy the one that you liked the most.
Yeah.
But I would want all of them.
It'd be really interesting to see. How
Good
they
thing you're
market
rich.
Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I wonder what they would do with Mario Kart.
Just cars. You buy, like, a school bus, and then you can drive it.
I've never seen it.
Well, then there must
And the
be
school
so
bus.
much behind the curtain for Mario Kart that we just don't know about.
Well, that's the thing. Did they say for sure they were doing it for Mario Kart? Because I know they said
Yeah, they said
this was a
that-
big
yeah.
idea
It's one
for
of the,
Mario
they
Kart.
said it's one of the titles they plan on rolling it out with.
Okay, so that's
Alright.
cool.
I didn't mean to like segue off of that. I was just wondering if you had
Mhm.
up or down opinions.
Yeah, that's
of
fine.
that.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm thinking we might go do videos more about specific stuff. Well,
Yeah.
frankly speaking, after this, we should probably do one just on the Smash Fest and
Yes.
all Smash news, and especially
Smash
considering,
was so huge.
what our channel is has been founded on so far. So, oh yeah, shoot.
Yeah, so I have something. I don't know if this is changes, but it's something I want them to do in the future that they've kind of hinted at they're going to do. I'd already kind of talked to Raid about this personally, but the new Wii U update, I saw that and I was like, this is a really cool idea. For those of you who don't know, basically, the gamepad up until now has just been when the system is off, it's off. The gamepad is off and, you know, it doesn't do anything but, like, turn on your system and act as, like, a TV remote. But then when the system's on, you get all this stuff. But now, we'll send you notifications straight to your Wii U gamepad. You can view them on there. And I feel like that is such a cool idea that where they can reach us with news.
Yep.
It's easy to do that because
Yep.
a gamepad, it's something I use to turn on my TV.
Yep.
It's something I use to get on the internet sometimes.
true, that's
I
true.
look up videos. I love Miiverse. I'm on Miiverse there. I use the gamepad a lot. And it's an easy way to get news straight from Nintendo. And I feel E3 or non-E3, that's really exciting.
And you know, it's an interesting point because it is. I do think I'm like, I wonder when is the best time to talk about that stuff because I feel like
Yeah.
if you get too much into it in a direct or something, people will call foul and be like, I don't want to. They just spent another 30 minutes talking about, you know, the system update that we already know about. But
Yeah. But it was exciting to me.
Use
They
the
mentioned it
gamepad.
today.
yeah,
And
he
they
mentioned
said-
it in that interview we watched.
Mhm.
And I don't know if everyone's seen.
I feel like they should use that in between E3 to keep us updated.
Yeah. Well, the saddest part about tonight is that we now have to wait for the next direct.
Yep.
I mean, we have in news tomorrow and then the next day, but
I don't think we can be sad until after tomorrow, or maybe after
After
Saturday.
Saturday.
There you go.
Yeah, after
Right.
the last Smash.
Lonely
I-
Sunday.
I have to be sad after tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Then let's shoot with this. What would you say was your biggest highlight, your game of the show, your thing of the show? What would you say your favorite moment was? Joke?
I'd have to say that grand finals between Zero and Hungry Box was pretty sweet. Hungry Box was pulling off some amazing reads. Zero was spacing and using his character's movement really well, and it was just a really highly skilled tournament match. I thought it was great.
Totally. Okay, Blurb?
I'm receding back to the previous question because I got an idea.
Oh, for the
Got an
fix?
idea. Yeah, just something that I would like to see change. So, Splatoon and Xenoblade got so much content time. I love this Treehouse live streaming thing, but we saw so many indie games and many other
That's a
games
good
that I
point.
think deserved more of a spotlight, especially if Nintendo wants to continue to operate well with these indie developers. I watched both Microsoft and Sony's. Didn't finish Ubisoft. Watched EA's. These
Before
indie titles that there's a level of transparency that's coming through the gaming industry, and these big console manufacturers have to play really nice with these indie titles because they're cheaper and
They're really good a lot of times.
yeah, the gaming industry as a whole is changing a lot, especially with tablets and whatever. You know all about that. So Nintendo needs to play nice. They need to encourage. They need to encourage indie developers and other developers, anybody. They need to encourage that by spreading their content. And we saw some sizzle reels of 3DS titles. Not so much 3DS news right now, but if you look at their press statement and all the software that's being released, yeah, there are quite a few games. But we didn't see those during the live Treehouse. We saw Xenoblade Chronicles for nearly 40 minutes. So if there was something to change, I would say
That's a good point. I like it.
switch it up. Switch it up. I like the way that they were like, well, due to popular demand, we're gonna take back Splatoon and let you watch that for a little bit longer.
I think it's possible that maybe tomorrow. I know that, and
Yeah,
the
with
next
the
Yeah,
3DS.
definitely.
there's
that might
definite
be.
time for
Yeah,
those, but I do agree.
No, you're probably right.
But I do hear you because Nintendo released a buttload of trailers for all of their indie games, for almost all of them, that came out on June 9th, which was the first day of E3, not Nintendo's stuff, or Nintendo did their stuff. So, but I hear you because I agree. I think the more they start showing those things alongside, and really, I think for those indie developers, if they feel like Nintendo is there alongside them and that they're alongside Nintendo, and actually in the interview we watched, Reggie made a point about that relations with these companies that will grow bigger and will continue to get more and more popular will really added a really good cement and foundation to further expanding Nintendo empire.
No, I think that's really critical for them right
I
now.
agree.
And so they need to play extra nice, being like, look
I
at
agree.
all the people, because they don't have a lot of third-party support. If you watch Microsoft, you're not going to see Nintendo stuff in Microsoft. If you watch Ubisoft or EA, you don't hear the word Wii U mentioned once.
Yeah.
And I wish that would change. Yes, if there's something I want to change
That's why
next
I'm
year,
building a computer.
if there's something I want to change, is I want EA and these other big conference
To start their unprecedented partnership.
the things that were promised the first time the Wii U was shown was that the Wii U has a lot of potential, and right now Nintendo doesn't have the ball in their own court, so they have to play really nice.
I would say now they do.
I would say maybe in the past I would have agreed with that more. I definitely agree with the notion that indies need to be taken care of.
See, and I feel indie, when you say indie, I think eShop and
Yes,
Right.
the
and
eShop
not
and
third
small-
party. So I feel
Yeah.
like the Wii U has a very unique
Yep.
eShop, and it's doing very well from what I've heard. It's
And as long as
With the number of
Nintendo
systems,
keeps
but,
treating
yeah.
those like like it's its own, I
Uh-huh.
think that will do wonders. I
Yep.
agree.
Right. Comparing
And then eventually, those companies, those big ones, will have to kind of decide whether or not they're going to go back.
Right.
Yep.
Comparing the eShop indie titles to, say, Apple or Sony's PlayStation Plus store, I think there is
There's steps to be made. For
there's
sure.
steps to be made.
Well, I hope that there aren't as many crappy games that are on the Wii U eShop as there are
Well,
on
and
the Apple shop.
Nintendo does have an
That's
identity
true.
of quality, and
That's the thing.
admittedly, I know Nintendo is very interested in making sure that they maintain that image.
Am I a person that buys $1-2 games very, very rarely? I have an iPhone and I don't buy those small games. When I buy a downloadable, a downloadable game that I got was DuckTales. Worth it.
Definitely.
Woo! $15 game, and I was way okay with that
Mhm.
purchase because it was that type of quality. It wasn't a $1 app. It wasn't
Yeah.
as easy as iPhone.
Let's
So
solve
I would
the
agree with
mystery. Or rewrite history.
or rewrite history.
Woo, DuckTales! Woo!
Not ponytails nor
DuckTales.
cottontails.
No, DuckTales!
Just
um,
DuckTales.
I think in that there's the part of me that, and I'm going to transition back, but
yeah, sorry.
but I think it's a very valid point, and I think you communicated it well.
Yeah,
so
very
A+.
good.
Yes.
I'll just say there's a part of me that wonders if, in an innate sort of identity setting, that kind of the really big third parties, especially Western ones, are somewhat incompatible with Nintendo. But I don't want to get into that.
I kind of
Um,
we can talk. We
we
can
can
spend
talk
an
about
hour
that.
on that.
Right,
one.
we can
So
talk about
let's
that
do that later.
So, what was your moment of the show,
A moment of the show.
or your favorite moment?
Oh.
I'll tell it for you. It was when Iwata and Reggie started each other down and started fighting.
Yes, that was my moment and grand finals of the Smash Tourney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're two corporate identities of a massive toy company, and they're facing off in epic battle. Better than I would have ever the animation and stuff is just. Not only were they just duking it out, no, Iwata would prepare himself, and he would put his hands up like he was going to announce directly, and he shot out and headbutted Reggie in the side
Too good. Too good.
way better. Any of that Mortal Kombat that I saw, that took the cake.
There you go. Spoken like a true fanboy.
Dude, that was amazing.
No, I hear you.
I have to watch it again and again.
Oh, it'll be watched many a time.
I don't know why it was so charming.
It was amazing.
loved it.
It was
Well, we can say that
amazing.
about the whole dang day.
Yeah.
Okay, Joey?
Hey, I'm gonna go out of my way and say I don't think it's fair to say Smash Brothers or Iwata, so I'm not going to.
Because Iwata wasn't there.
Well, I know, but he still basically made the show. I said this earlier, but Splatoon really excited me. I was expecting a Zelda. I was kind of expecting other news.
Agreed.
I was expecting, I was like, you know what, they're gonna let a lot of these, franchises that they know out of the box, and we're gonna be excited about these. But I saw Splatoon, and I was like, wait, what the heck is this? I'm like,
Yep.
Then they showed the idea. I was like, wow.
Yeah, they're like,
That is really cool.
Totally, totally.
This brings team play to a whole new idea. The coolest, I saw a second of this gameplay where I was just like, holy cow, that is so cool. It's where the team, they're all four running together. They're jumping out of their squid things, shooting down, and then jumping back into their squid, and they're rotating between the four. So it's just
to lay the
as
path
in-
for the next
yeah.
person.
And then an
To keep
entire
the speed.
team was just they were just flowing through together.
It's really cool.
And you can go by yourself or with your team. It's just no matter what you're doing, you're
Agreed.
with that team. And I
Agreed.
feel like Nintendo is good at that, connecting with other people while you're playing games.
Yep.
And so I saw that and I'm like, that's a Nintendo moment. That really struck me as I really want to see that. I saw Villager played. I saw enough Villager. I'm sure we all know how excited I am for Villager. I'm just gonna put that aside and say Splatoon. So
And yeah, I'm actually going to, I mean, we had Zelda U looks like it's going to fill all of our expectations. Smash Brothers as well. Both of the iterations, Wii U and 3DS. But I'm going to have to stick with Travis and say, I have two in my mind right now. I'm going to have to say Splatoon. I remember as soon as they started showing, just instant interest. Not a lot of times things will be shown. It's I think that's cool what they're doing, but I probably won't get it. Or, maybe I'll get around to it. But and it's a genre that I don't usually find myself it's fun a genre that's fun enough, but it's kind of got its own well-established areas that I just don't necessarily dig so much sometimes.
yeah.
And just seeing this and just see it so fresh, so open, all the wonder and possibilities, and just that perfect Nintendo way. And be it just totally new. I mean, none of us were expecting it.
A shooter? What?
Yeah, I mean,
Nintendo shooter.
Wasn't
That
Mario-
is the perfect Nintendo shooter.
it is exactly.
It
It's
is.
so Nintendo.
And then that's
The
Besides-
genre was
besides
almost
Nickelodeon.
dead. The genre was almost dead to me, but Nintendo's like, hey, it's
Agreed.
not.
And
Here go.
that's actually a good way of putting it. I
first person
normally
shooter,
just
but-
wouldn't be interested in
It's a shooter,
I can
that's what
play
I
it when I go to my friend's house and stuff like that, but me personally investing in it, yeah, the interest wasn't there. But now I see that, I'm like, I could easily see myself there's four of us in this room right now, easily seeing us We should boot up some Splatoon.
There are 4 of us in the room.
Yep,
Our team.
exactly.
go.
We should boot up
The
some
good guys.
I swear. My other one I will say is Project Robot, Giant Robot.
Yes.
I thought that looked really cool, and I'm so excited to see them expand on that. And I hope Miyamoto just like I want him to be happy. Number one, but number two is like if he can just sit down and keep making games like that, that's so cool. I mean,
You know
what
he
a
loves it.
cool
You know
concept.
he really does.
What a
It really
neat way to
feels
play.
like he's just like doing some homework and like
Just
he's
chill.
in the middle of homework and he doesn't feel rushed to get anything done by E3. We know because some
They're
things
not
are
done.
hidden from us. But like these are just fun projects that he's checking out.
Totally.
And he's just experimenting and he's like, here, this is what I do. Like
I mean,
This is what I've been messing around with.
Well, and like as I watch those robots do their hilarious looking fighting, I mean, in my mind, I'm already thinking of things to try. Like, well, maybe if I tried sticking my arm and swinging it around, I might be able to clothesline him or something. And it is as awkward and silly as it looks. It's engaging, and it just is so
charming.
so charmingly fresh. And it just
Yeah.
that's neat. That is neat. And again, we have our Zelda U, we have our Smash Bros, the Invitational. We will after this. I've
We have
almost
Star
convinced-
Fox Wii U coming.
And you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. As awesome as that is, I'm even happy with how little we saw of it. Just because it's I'm more than satisfied.
That's fine.
Those
As long
blurry
as it's coming.
screenshots.
As
Well,
long,
and
as long as
admittedly-
it's coming,
Because I know Hyrule Warriors is right around the corner. But
Yeah.
we have plenty to play, so
We have plenty
I'm
to
okay.
hold us off.
well, and
Mario
admittedly,
Kart still just barely came out.
we're still running on pure hype of the fact that we're about to play Smash and very soon,
Yeah.
and very soon,
In not
Yeah,
a
I
large
don't-
amount of hours.
Right now, I don't feel drained of any
totally.
kind of Nintendo games at all.
Totally.
So that's why, not seeing a whole lot of Star Fox right now. I'm
The
okay. with
least of our problems.
it. Yeah, it's really not that big a deal to me because there's so much depth to be had with what's already there.
Mhm.
I'm not the
And
hardest-
so,
yeah.
on that, I mean, fantastic stuff. Very satisfied. I mean, I don't even think I need to go around and ask. I was going to, but I think thumbs up from all of us here on all accounts. And I think that's what makes it so good. It didn't try to be more than it needed to be. It was exactly what it needed to be.
Mhm.
And it just hit it on the head so perfectly.
Yeah.
And we all got to go to sleep and just know that we had a fantastic day today, and we hope that you guys enjoyed this video. We would love to know if you guys have any ideas that we didn't, if anything you guys thought could be changed, or what your guys' favorite moments were. I mean, there's a lot of games that were awesome that we did not talk about, just because we kind of hit the big ones and we were on some talking points. But so let us know what you guys think and expect more videos. We're very excited to do some more analyses
Oh,
of
baby.
some of these characters. And now,
Samus is broken.
Oh my gosh, Pac-Man!
Pac-Man. And
Don't even go there. No,
I'll-
just kidding.
no way.
No way. No.
Olimar looks awesome. Well, actually, I really think Olimar looks cool. But
Yeah.
Bowser, hype. I'm so excited to play Bowser tomorrow.
All
Anyways,
right, we won't go into them. Sorry, we
This is
already
the email
did.
that I got from Nintendo.
What does it say?
The front page of this email I got from
Is
Nintendo
them
just read-
fighting?
It shows the epic screenshot
can't
of
pull it
Reggie
up.
and Iwata just punching,
something like this.
Punching. Yeah.
Something like this.
punching.
Oh, look at
Three
those.
awkward smiles in one
Look at those
place.
nerds. I mean, look,
Yay.
just a good overall conference.
Everything. Look at that.
And with that,
Mario Maker.
let's sign out.
Let's call it a day.
We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. And let's do the sign off. I'm Anno Nano.
I'm Anno Nano.
I'm Anno Nano.
And I'm Anno Nano.
And this is Dame Nano. And Nano Nano. Just kidding, this is Dame, the Random Rant.